This year is going to be better than last year. Not necessarily bigger, but better. We're moving the garden, and we're planting a whole bunch of different varieties of stuff. More varieties than we had last year. But we're probably going to plant fewer of each variety. Welcome to the 2021 garden season. Yes, it's January, but we're getting started already. Hi everyone, welcome back to Bustling Home. Let's take a look at the seeds. I got some from Baker's Creek and I got some from Urban Farmer. Because Baker's Creek is already running out of seeds. Like when I put my order in December, they were running out of seeds. Some of the stuff that I had on my order, by the time I got back to it, it was gone. That's why I went to Urban Farmer and got some seeds from there. I would have preferred to order all my seeds from one place, but hey, it didn't work. So last year, our garden was about 3,700 square feet. This year, in 2021, it's probably going to be close to the same size, give or take a bit, since we're completely changing the location. But it's going to be much more spaced out, and we're going to have a lot more varieties of plants in it. Last year was our experimental year where we just kind of got whatever plants we could find. Our goal for this year is to see how much of our food we can grow in our own garden so we don't have to buy vegetables at the store. I'll leave a list down below so that you can see exactly the varieties we got and where we got them. For peppers, we have Blot peppers, these nice rainbow colored peppers. I like colorful things. Big Jim peppers, which are kind of like poblanos, and I plan to use these probably for stuffing, like chiles rellenos. I really love those. I've never made them, so hopefully I don't screw that up. Hungarian hot wax for a kind of generic hot pepper. Cayenne peppers, just because they're cayenne peppers. It's a good generic hot pepper again. Then for tomatoes, we got two of the primary paste varieties, San Marzano and Amish paste. I don't know which one of these is going to grow best in our 4B climate with the kind of soil that we have, which is pretty much stripped of nutrition. So figured I'd just try them both. For a few extra bucks, it's totally worth figuring out the first year what works. Yellow pear tomatoes, which I also call throwing tomatoes because they have that nice little handle sticking up off the top of it. So you can just kind of take it and wing it out into the woods if you want to, especially if they start going soft. Pink bumblebee tomatoes, because they're cute, and I think they'll be good in salads. They're supposed to be pretty sweet. Orange peach tomatoes. These are kind of an interesting variety because they're supposed to be a little bit fuzzy like peaches and have a little bit of a peach flavor. So I'm looking forward to trying out these ones. And then the Woods famous brimmer tomatoes as a slicing tomato, because apparently my husband likes BLTs. Then we have a couple of sweet pepper varieties. King of the North for a big kind of generic sweet pepper. Sheepnose pimento because it was cute and little. I don't have a great reason for some of these. It's just because, hey, that looks neat. And then these ground cherries. I have no idea what ground cherries are or what they taste like, but it says they have a lot of pectin. So I'm hoping that maybe we can use these to make jellies and jams without using gelatin. We'll see how it goes. Every year is kind of an experiment when you're gardening, right? Another one of our mainstays is squashes. We only have one summer squash because in 2020 we tried zucchinis and the yellow crookneck squash. The yellow crookneck squash kind of sucked. It had really thick skins and it was really seedy. And it seems like when we sliced it up, cooked it, and then froze it, the skins got even tougher. So we're not even bothering with those yellow squashes anymore because the flavor is not that different from a zucchini. We'll just stick to zucchinis. They're more prolific, more tender, and just work better for us. Instead of doing the usual Black Beauty zucchinis, I decided to try these Fordhook zucchinis just because. Why not? Then we have two kinds of naked seed pumpkins. And I didn't mean to get two kinds, but apparently I forgot to take one off of my Baker's Creek seeds order. So we got these Pepitas F1 seeds from Urban Farmer and the Lady Godiva pumpkins or squashes from Baker's Creek. For winter squashes, we got the butternut squash. It's fairly generic butternut. Generic Buttercup squash, because this was one of our best producers, and these are really sweet if you let them sit out in the freeze a couple times. And then Jarrahdale pumpkins, which I have never grown before, or squashes. But these are supposed to be able to sit in somewhat of a root cellar environment for up to 1 to 2 years. So I figure once we've gone through all of these other squashes, these will still be sitting around and we can have basically fresh vegetables throughout the entire year. This will get us all the way until our 2022 garden, hopefully. If things work out the way I think they will. Then I have a whole stack of things that grow in the ground. Because if they're in the ground, the bugs can't eat them as easily. We didn't have a problem with root vegetables getting eaten below the surface, but we did have the voles come through and gnaw off the top of them, and probably the rabbits too, because we didn't have our dogs in our garden this year or even around the direct vicinity. That's part of the reason we're moving the garden, so that we can expand their electric fence and they will be able to help us protect the garden. So we are starting with purple onions, because they're purple and I like purple. Bulgarian giant leeks. Our leeks completely failed this year. Hopefully we can find these in our garden this time, because hopefully we won't have grass that looks exactly like leeks. I might have pulled them up, or they might have not sprouted. I'm really not sure. But leeks are really good, especially since we are planning to plant potatoes, and we are basically growing our potato leek soup, which sounds really good for the fall. Heshiko bunching onions. Not sure about that pronunciation, but basically green onions. Bull's blood beets. Nice and bright red. Golden beets, because they're yellow. And albino beets, because they're white, so we can have like this tricolor beet salad if we want to. And oddly enough, beets actually go really well with goat cheese. Somehow the goatiness of the goat cheese balances the dirt flavor of the beets, and it turns out really well. I'm still not sure how that works, but it's really good. If you haven't tried that, you should. I also got sugar beets, which, from what I have read, sugar beets are not actually beety flavored, but you can chop them up, boil them, and actually get sugar out of it. So I'm hoping we can do that and see what happens, try to make some of our own sugar. Probably not enough for using for all of our baking and cooking, but it's kind of an experiment. It's homeschooling too, right? Then we got some fairly generic parsnips. These are left over from last year. We'll see if they sprout. They're kind of stubby carrots. It says they're slim, sweet, 6 to 7 inch, almost coreless orange roots. So, stubby fat carrots. These I had to get. These are the first thing I put in my cart at Baker's Creek. They're rainbow carrots, and it's not even rainbow carrots between all the carrots. It's rainbow carrots all within one carrot. I mean, look at that stuff. Isn't that cool? You chop it up and you have a rainbow dinner. I'll take anything rainbow colored. They're just awesome. Back to the standard stuff. Purple top turnips. There don't seem to be too many varieties of turnips. Navone yellow rutabagas. The rutabagas and the turnips were some of our best producers in 2020, so we're definitely doing that again. Because we can take some of the greens off the top early in the season, saute them up and freeze them, or we could dehydrate them if we wanted to, or any number of things. And then late into the fall, we can actually leave those in the ground through a couple of frosts and maybe even some freezes, and they're fine. So that reduces our storage a little bit, and these are just really hardy, good growing plants. Then some Japanese daikon radishes. I think these are the only radishes I got because Baker's Creek was running out of radishes. Why not? It's a giant radish. I like giant things, I like tiny things, and I like rainbow colored things. Anything that's kind of unusual. Let's take a look at these starches now. Lima beans left over from last year. I don't really like lima beans. I'm guessing I got these because my husband likes them. So I'll probably stick some in the ground because I have them. Knuckle purple hull cowpeas. Cowpeas are black-eyed peas. So these are purple-hulled black-eyed peas. This year I got a bunch of purple-hulled stuff because it's much easier to find purple hulls on a green plant. So even if I take the kids out there, I can tell them pick all the purple stuff. That way there's no confusion about which things they should be picking, so we won't miss as much and won't destroy as much that we shouldn't be picking. I'm assuming I like black-eyed peas. I don't know if I've ever actually eaten them. I'll probably like them. Striped japonica corn. This is a flint corn, so this is for drying and grinding into flour or cornmeal. It has really pretty leaves, if you can see on that package. It's a variegated leaf with kind of magenta edges on it. So I think this is going to be a really pretty plant, and it'll give us that nice dark, almost black corn kernel. It'll be interesting to see what color of cornbread this makes. We got atomic orange flint corn. I don't know if this will make actually orange cornbread, or if it'll be only slightly orangish. If the hull's orange, does that make everything orange? Or would it still be kind of whitish from the inside? I don't know. We'll find out. We got Stoll's Evergreen Sweet Corn, because this has only like a 60 or 70 day growing season, which that's the reason I picked the 2 flint corns that I have also. Since we are in zone 4B, we need to have stuff with a short growing season to make sure that we can get it all the way through the growing season. That way I am pretty sure we'll get a harvest as long as nothing else kills it. If we try to do something like Brussels sprouts or standard sweet corn that takes 100 to 120 days to mature, it's a little iffy if we're going to get a crop out of it, because at the beginning of the season, we never know how early we'll be able to plant it and actually get it to germinate and start growing. And then by the end of the season, we have no idea if it's going to end prematurely and kill off everything. So I'd prefer to hedge my bets and have short growing season for my seeds. We got hull-less oats, because I wanted to try it, and then there's less processing. And black hull-less barley. If this actually works out, it'll be kind of funny to see what color the bread is. I'm wondering if we're going to end up with like this deathly gray bread that looks like you really shouldn't be eating it. That might be kind of fun. With all of these unusually colored things, I think it's going to be really fun if we actually get the results that I think we will from them, to put together a meal where just nothing is the right color. Looking at our viney things, we have Sugar Daddy peas. I'm hoping the kids will eat these because they're very sweet, obviously by the name. It's kind of hard to get kids to eat vegetables, so I tried to find some stuff that I might be able to get my kids to indulge in. Chinese red noodle beans. These are 18-inch long red beans, and it says that they keep most of their color when they're cooked. So that sounds kind of fun, again, to have a rainbow-colored dinner. King Tut purple peas. Again, these are purple hulled, so that if I send the kids out, they can find them really easily. Or, honestly, I can find them easily too, because I might not have a whole lot of sleep at some point. It's a lot easier to find the purple things than the green things on the green plants. These I broke my own rule and I got stuff with green pods, but they're supposed to be a good standard bean. They are Old Homestead or Kentucky Wonder Beans. And then the Blauhilde beans, which again are purple beans. And these, it says, the pods are supposed to stay tender even when they're huge. So that's kind of nice that it's not sensitive if I don't go out on exactly the right day to pick this stuff. Not all is lost. We can still chop it up and eat it, and it's not going to be like chewing on shoe leather. Another mainstay from this year's garden was greens. Not only did we get greens from some of our root veggies like rutabagas and turnips, but we got quite a bit of greens from a crop of Swiss chard. So we're definitely doing Swiss chard again, but we're going to expand into other greens since that was so successful. I have this package of baby bok choy that I didn't plant last year, obviously. All of these burpee seeds are things that I got last year and never got around to planting. So we'll try that. Another type of baby bok choy, suju, maybe? I don't know how to say that. You can look it up below. Orange Fantasia Swiss chard, which normally Swiss chard is either a rainbow mix of it or it's something like a ruby variety where the stem is red. Just a minute. Well, it took a few days to get back to this. I had to suddenly stop filming because I ran out of battery. I got a call from the doctor office that I had to take, and then I had to go. Let's continue looking at the seeds. For brassicas, we have cabbage. It's just fairly generic green cabbage. Superschmelz, or giant white kohlrabi. You can see that kohlrabi is like the size of his head or bigger. Hopefully that actually works this time, because our kohlrabi this year didn't do the ball thing. It just got this really long stem and it looked really healthy, but there's no ball at the bottom. I don't know what happened. And then we're going to try cauliflower. We don't have broccoli this year. I don't remember why. I think Jeff just didn't want to do it or something. And I'm not too stuck on getting broccoli. For a few kind of random things, I wanted to try loofah gourds. Just because. Maybe we can use them for cleaning. It sounded fun. I want to try celeriac because that sounds easier than traditional celery. It's a celery root, basically, I think. And then Chinese pink celery. Because since we have rainbow color everything, why not have pink celery? May as well. This also sounds like it's easier to grow than traditional celery. So we'll see how these work out, because we do use a lot of celery. It'd be nice to actually grow our own. Then I have a big stack of herbs here. Most of these are left over from 2020, because I just didn't get a chance to plant them. And I honestly don't know where I'm going to plant them, actually. I don't know if they will go in a raised bed in the perennial garden, if they will go next to the house, or if I'll put them in the annual garden. If you have any tips on where you put your herb garden, let me know. This cardinal basil I got basically because it has purple flowers. Can't lose, really. Purple flowers and basil. Then I have sweet basil, thyme, which I already have a bush of thyme growing out back of the house, but I'll plant more. We use a lot of it. Garlic chives, regular chives, oregano, which I tried to grow out back, and somehow I killed oregano. I have no idea how I killed oregano. I didn't think that was possible. Rosemary. Lavender, which Jeff kind of hates the smell of lavender because he thinks it's an old lady thing, but it has purple flowers, so we're growing it. Chamomile. I'm hoping this will grow and I can make tea out of it. I think I tried chamomile out back too, and that died. Dill, mammoth dill, because we use a lot of it. That'll be great for pickling. Sage, which I also have out back, and that was really healthy. I don't know why I have seeds for it. Maybe I thought I was going to kill it. Whatever, we'll plant more. Marjoram. Stevia, just to try an alternative sweetener. Parsley. And this is Hamburg rooted parsley, so it's a little bit different. And then regular parsley. Then, just for some pretty stuff, I got some flowers. I got these ladybird poppies because they are not perennials in our growing zone, which is 4B, but these are supposed to reseed themselves. And I think this would be a very pretty flower to have, I don't know, maybe out front or out back. I don't know where I'm putting it, but it was pretty, so I'm going to put it somewhere. I got a wildflower perennial mixture, and then 4 different things of marigolds, because you can never have enough marigolds, right? Given that they seem to dissuade some pests from gardens, I might just randomly plant marigolds all over our gardens. That'd work fine too, right? I don't think these are too hard to grow from seed. I guess we'll see. So that is my seed haul for 2021. Wish me luck. I have to get a schedule pulled together for which things I need to start when, because I'm sure I need to start some of these inside before the real gardening season, like the peppers and tomatoes. And I have to do it better than last year, because last year all of my tomato plants died, with good reason. I mean, they were these spindly little sickly things. I'm not sure if it was lack of nutrition or lack of light or what it was. I don't think it was lack of water. I did okay with water. And my peppers started out like that tall. If you can't tell, that's like 2 inches tall. And I think it took at least as long for them to recover from my neglect inside as it would have for them to just start from seed outside. So that really wasn't worth it. We might contract with one of our friends who has a greenhouse to start some seeds in her greenhouse for us. That way she has guaranteed income and we have almost guaranteed plants. Because the plants that she handed off to me that were left over after her selling season were really big and healthy plants. So that is one path forward. I'm not sure if we'll take that one. We'll probably take that one this year because we don't have the infrastructure to put in our own greenhouse right now. So that's our seed haul for 2021. As I mentioned before, our goal this year is to grow as much of our own food as we can. And I like rainbow colored stuff, but part of the motive for getting all these interesting colored things, especially the pink ones, is if it's fun, like rainbow colors, maybe I can get the kids involved and get them to not trample the garden. Because who wants to trample pink celery? My kids are all 5 and under, so getting them to help with things might be more work than they actually add to it. But training them to be part of the process of growing our food, I think, is going to be invaluable in the years to come. So I really want to get them involved as soon as I can. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. But that is one of my goals this year in having basically a rainbow-colored garden with all the things the wrong color. Alright, I'm really losing light here, so time to say bye for now. Let me know what's in your seed order and what you're looking forward to growing most this year. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.